Hello and welcome to Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 38, Episode 13. Now, I just want to put it out there, I gotta get some stuff off my chest. I'm not trying to be negative from this past week's episode, but this Tiny Table Talk is going over some epiphanies that I had after watching this episode multiple times and just needing to get some things off my chest. So, without further ado, let's jump in, starting with... I'm done. I've hit my limit of how much I've cared about the Tori and Jordan drama. I've gotten to the point where I am waving the flag of surrender. This has gotten to a point where it went from, this could be interesting seeing Tori and Jordan on the same season together, to a level of exhaustion that I am just done with. We have hit a cycle in their relationship where I agree 100% with Anissa that they just need to get to a point where they say, agree to disagree, we'll try to stay in good terms, but let's not talk to each other and let's just give each other some space. Heck, they're not even on the same team. They don't need to talk to each other if they don't have to. And they have such a big challenge house this season with so few people that they could just be on opposite sides of the house and never really run into each other except for maybe in the kitchen. But they don't have to talk to each other. We have gotten little spurts of fights between these two like every single episode and nothing gets resolved. That is just boring at this point, getting fed the same arguments over and over and over again from the same two people. But I think this all comes down to who is left in the game and who this cast is made up of. If you look at who is left in the game, nobody in the house is really spicy or very interesting. And I know that might sound a little harsh, but even the people that were interesting in their past challenge seasons, on this challenge season, they're just not giving anything entertainment-wise. I think the lack of drama, minus the Tori and Jordan drama that is being shown to us at every single episode, and even in the preview to the next episode, there is another fight that they're going to have, and I just want to say, I don't care at this point. But I think that this is a testament that something needs to happen, probably in casting, that we need exciting personalities with everybody on the cast, because once we get to a point where there is only a handful of couples or a handful of people left in the game, you want people that can command the stage and command the camera and command showtime, but there is nothing going on. I mean, we're not even seeing games. We're not seeing costume parties. We're not seeing anything. It's just frustrating. I also think it comes down to editing. Show something of somebody who doesn't have anything to do with an episode. It's okay to do that. You don't have to just stick to, oh, Team Mariah is going to lose this episode and it's a Women's Day, so we have to be fixated on the people who are going into the elimination. We have to give them all the screen time. Yes, it's preferably to give them a lot of screen time for the story and narrative arcs, but you don't have to just do that. You can show off Horacio, you can show off Olivia, you can show off anybody else if they're doing something entertaining. They're not important in this episode, so why even show half the house or 2/3 of the house when they don't even have to worry about anything? Horacio doesn't have to worry about anything this episode, so why even show him on camera? Valid point, but also because if he's doing anything interesting, that's content for you. And instead of holding on to it, possibly waiting for him to go into another elimination and then go, oh, he created a slip and slide in the backyard or something. Not saying he did that, but I'm just getting to the point where I'm frustrated that the only quote-unquote entertaining drama that we're getting in the house is between Tori and Jordan, and we've seen it happening episode after episode, and we're going to keep on getting that because nobody else is doing anything interesting in the game, or they are doing something interesting, but it has nothing to do with that storyline for this week. What do you think about the Tori and Jordan drama? Are you kind of fed up at this point, or are you thinking, give me more, at least we're getting something? Because I think that too. I think, what would this season look like if Tori and Jordan possibly was eliminated beforehand? Like, what if Tori and Devin lost in the first elimination? What if Tori and Anissa didn't win against Laurel and Jack? Like, what would this season look like? Would all the drama just be sucked out of the house? Would there be anything of interest? I don't know. I feel like there wouldn't. There would just be nothing to talk about with the house antics. I mean, it's already kind of bare bones when it comes to drama and entertainment value, just looking outside of daily challenges on eliminations and even strategy at this point. But if there was no Tori and Jordan drama, I feel like we would be getting zero drama, like absolutely no drama, which is sad to think about. But what do you think about that? Let me know down in the comments section below. Now, I really enjoyed this daily challenge. I like the way that it was held. I like all the different tasks that they had to do. However, when it came down to just the first task and Faysal was flopping on that slingshot and Devin was able to help Jordan out, why then are both teams asking Devin to help Faysal get through this competition? Devin took to Twitter trying to show everybody that, hey, it wasn't necessarily my idea. People were asking me. I asked my team multiple times if they really wanted me to help, and everybody but Horacio said yes, help Faysal. So that means even Amber, Mariah, and Nani was asking Devin to help the other team despite their butts were on the line, that they could have been in the line of fire to be possibly going into the elimination. This is the problem. You have so many friends on the cast that they're just like, yeah, just help them. Even though this is the whole point of the challenge, is to be able to get done with the challenge and to have the least amount of time. Who cares about that at the end of the day? We're fine, just help my friend out. And everybody's like, yeah, just do it. While Horacio, who is new to this whole realm, but is very much a competitor and still a nice guy, is like, no, let him go. Let him do his thing. Let's be here for 2 hours while he's trying to hit the targets. Like, come on now. I don't care how many liters of that disgusting goo was in his stomach and coming out. I don't care. That was his punishment. He stepped up to try to get one up on Jordan and the other team, and he was absolutely just falling flat on his face. You do not bail him out. Now, I will say that there are probably some critics out there that is saying that no matter how much time that Team Underdog was leading by, whether it was the 37 minutes, whether it was more than that, possibly 45 to an hour, it would not matter because Mariah and Jordan was just not going to be able to complete the final task, which I say is valid. That's plausible. But also on the other side, why didn't Casey and Chauncey kind of just like throw this away? I can see it on Casey's side that she would have been possibly going into the elimination, which I can understand she doesn't want to go into the elimination. However, there's a better chance than not that she wouldn't be sent into the elimination. She probably wouldn't have been the main vote, and nobody would want to go into the elimination against her or send her in. I know I just went off on a little bit of a tangent, but my main frustration is in the first task of helping Faysal. Devin should have never helped, and his team shouldn't have been the one to push him to help. More specifically, Nani, Amber, and Mariah should have done nothing. They should have just been like, no, this is our livelihood. This is our team that we're looking out for, and we need to even the odds. And they just kind of fumbled here. They completely fumbled it. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. I feel like I'm just rambling, talking in circles, but it's just so annoying. It's so hard to put logic to why they did that. I just don't get it. Oh my gosh. All right, now let's go into who I have in my riding and dying categories. Who did really well this episode? I'm going to say it was Nani. I'm going to give her MVP of the episode. She did her thing. She had a very touching moment with Casey early on in the episode. She did good enough job in the puzzle during her task, and then she was able to go into the elimination and take care of business. It was a very gripping elimination, but I thought that Nani did the best she could, and from what I heard from like Challenge Stats Twitter account, that this was her second solo win elimination, and I thought that she did a fantastic job this episode, so congratulations to Nani. Now, somebody who did not do very well in this episode at all, which, I mean, I'm not going to talk about Mariah. She fumbled the bag quite a bit this episode. I want to say that this was a really bad look on Team Underdog. You're now down to 5 people. If they lost 3 out of the 4 team daily challenges, and then the one that they did win, there's asterisks all over the place for both teams on who touched what the time was, 2 seconds really separated them. Come on now. So I just think that Team Underdog is in a world of hurt right now, and they need to pick it up. Hopefully they have a daily challenge coming up where it's good to have less people. And I know it's a little confusing because I talked mainly about Team Underdog and gave Nani the riding high, but that's just how I view the scope of this episode. But what do you think about my picks? Let me know down in the comment section below. And now let's get to the comments section. The first comment comes from Mochi Madness saying, I keep forgetting Anissa is on the cast. Honestly, I would have liked to see how Naya would have done. We were so close, I feel, to getting Naya and Jordan as a riding and dying pair, and oh, that would have been incredible. The next comment comes from Alex Gee, who says, I really enjoyed this daily. I agree, and I appreciate them actually showing us their team's time. How incredible. I was shocked. We got a timer on the bottom for both teams to see the lead in. I mean, wow. We haven't gotten a timer on the bottom of the screen in quite some time, I feel, and this was the daily challenge that we got the timer. I really appreciated that. Tickle Me Trish comes in with a comment saying, Bananas laughing at Faysal harder than TJ was hilarious. Bananas was having a good old time. That was exactly how hard I was laughing when TJ said the instructions and that they were going to have to drink every single time that they missed the targets, and Faysal just kept missing and missing and missing. Whew, that was really, really funny. YouTube Bearcat comes in with a comment asking, was Fessy fake vomiting? I thought the same exact thing. I was like, Fessy took courses at the Corey Wharton How to Eat at Daily Challenges, because Corey normally just puts the food or drink in his mouth and then instantly spits it out, like he is instantly vomiting. Now, there are points where Corey is just like a fountain. And Fessy, I do think that he had some moments where he was legit just projectile, just throwing up. However, there was also points where he just took a little sip and then just instantly spit it out. Next up, we have a comment from Naturally Done who says, I'm not helping my opponent with crap. I don't care if Mariah didn't have enough upper body strength. I'm not helping the other team win, and Big Brother sucks. Yes, yes, and double yes. Couldn't agree more with a comment on the week than yours, Naturally Done. Thank you so much. The next comment comes from Lee, who says, what I don't understand is why the genius Devin didn't tell her to switch her grip to the upright pole. Work her elbow around it and then grab that arm with the other. Weight would have been off her lack of grip strength. Now, I will say that I think that there were rules that weren't mentioned to us as the audience members, because when I watched the final task, the bungee one, there was a point where Casey does the initial run up, grabs the top upper bar, and then holds on to it while Chauncey gets ready to run. But I think that they were told that you can't grip onto the top bar and then hold on to it with your whole body. You had to reach down to the bottom bar, and you could only touch the bottom bar. Because in the next scene, when they flip back over to Casey and Chauncey, Casey is on the bottom bar. And then Mariah never touches any other bar. I think that they were prohibited from touching anything but the bottom bar. That's just my assumption. I haven't seen anywhere where people have said, yes, that's exactly it. Those were the rules that were said to us. That's just my thought after seeing the edit and watching the episode. JA comes in with a comment saying, Mariah should have dug herself a hole before Jordan went. That is a really good strategy. They should have been digging in the field to get footholds and arm holds, kind of what was it in the Wes versus Devin elimination? Wes was kind of being a tortoise trying to bury himself into the sand. They should have been digging holes in the ground trying to grab arm holes to then help them. And I'm wondering if the challenge was you can't do that. You can't dig. I wish they would give us all the rules, give us the same rules that you're giving the contestants so everybody is on the same page watching the daily challenge, Ashley Murray comes in with a comment saying, this was so disgusting to see Fessy happy for Mariah to go in. This for sure enforces the idea that they are not real friends. just a stranger from the gym. He was way too quick to say she needs to go down to earn her stripes. Every season, we see Fessy trying to put himself above his partners. I will say that after listening to this past week's Challenge official podcast with Devin and Devin, they were interviewing Mariah, and at one point they asked, okay, what was your relationship to Fessy? What did it look like before coming into the house? And Mariah said that she only knew Fessy for like a year. They met up in a bar. Fessy was very shy when he met up with her. And then they knew each other from like various outings and playing video games with each other. And then Faysal came up to Mariah with the idea of possibly being on this season of the challenge because he said that he didn't want to bring on his sister into the game, and then he thought Mariah was in really good shape. How about it? Would you like to come into the game with me? And also in that podcast, Mariah brings up that she heard Faysal tell somebody else that he trusts every other person in the game besides Mariah because he's known them longer than he's known Mariah. So to think that he trusted everybody in the challenge house more so than the person that he brought into the game with him to be his partner by his side the whole time, to trust 100%. He trusted everybody else but her because he knew them longer than he's known Mariah. What? Are you kidding me? What? The next comment comes from Hudaben, who says, personally, I didn't like how Aneesa was mocking Amber. I can tell that Amber was very conflicted at the dagger pool and had genuine reaction. I honestly still don't understand why the vets don't like her. I think it's all jealousy at this point, but I agree. I didn't like that moment at all. Like, Aneesa gave us bare minimum of confessionals or screen time, and one of her 2 confessionals on the episode was making fun of Amber. I feel like Aneesa needs to worry about losing her podcasting gig over at the Challenge official podcast more so than worrying about Amber winning an Oscar. And the final comment comes from Chris Dubb, who says, Amber and Chauncey's relationship is way too wholesome for reality TV. That I agree with 100%. For all the critiques that we have seen about these pairings on the season, a couple that has each other's backs 100% inside and outside of the game is Amber and Chauncey. Seeing Amber like reassure Chauncey did the right thing by helping his team win, and then Chauncey being so distraught for helping his team win when it puts Amber in danger, and then all the times that Chauncey has taken to Twitter to stand up for Amber and all the stuff that's going on in the season and on social media. I love them. I love them so much. They are couple goals. But that is it for today's Tiny Table Talk. What do you think about this week's episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. I want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 38 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.